Well, chemotherapy means using chemicals. And chemoautotrophs means they're doing chemical reactions to create the energy. They're not requiring the photo of the sun. Okay? That's the difference between the two. Next up, you have your primary consumers, the heterotrophs. And they're herbivores, and they get their energy by consuming. Ladies and gentlemen, the fishermen. Yes. No, the result is well. There should be and so I started off
I'm stoked for it. Ryan, I need to get it. Because if I get like a B on this,
Study.
I was. If I get a B on this, dude, my grade's gonna go up like 30%.
You gotta be in anything. You go. You did a homework assignment, your grade would go up 20%.
Those homework assignments don't need all those homework assignments that you did?
Math.
My grade went up by 4%. It wasn't even worth it.
a lot of times.
The time I did the copy and all that shit, not even worth it.
Trust me, when it comes to your final, those homework assignments will help you because a lot of the stuff is based off of the homework assignment. Especially when you get to trig, it's
Yeah, but
really
it's an
important.
85
Mr. Vander,
split though.
did you hunt that yourself or?
What I did is I walked into my friend's father's cabin, and he had just replaced this caribou with the elk that he had taken down the previous fall. And I went in and I said, "Hey, Gary, where'd the caribou go? It's down in the basement if you want it." I said, "Absolutely." And so I used these and I picked it up and put it in my car. There it is.
That was right.
I didn't, but I did, it fit in the back, barely. I did when I found the buffalo skull out in South Dakota, I did strap that to the back of a Honda Prelude. And drove from South Dakota back home with a skull on the back of the car.
This guy's awesome.
With flesh, it still had flesh on it. And then my mother was not too happy. If you ever are cleaning a skull in the future that has been sitting outside and the brain cavity was just filled with insects, I made a bleach mixture in the bathtub at my parents' house, in college at the time, and I put it in there. My mom was not too happy. She walked in, I heard her, "Ah, what is this? Ryan, get up here." So, I learned. Don't put skulls in your mother's bathtub. So, hey, he's got to be done with this.
I do. You finish.
Herbivores. Primary consumers. What do we have next? So you have the producers, there's obviously more of them, right? Why are there more of them? Why do you need more of them?
Because then there wouldn't be any herbivores.
Everything comes from them.
No, they don't. Not only comes from these. It's not like they give birth to. Okay.
Because the energy flow wouldn't exist without any producers.
Produce the energy you needed, right? So you go, "Now I disagree with this. Duck, do not eat bass." Okay, the way they have this going, they have a duck eating a
Most
bass.
ducks only eat plants.
Yes, this is so wrong. Get down to primary consumers. I just noticed that this year. We've had this in our PowerPoint for like maybe 4 or 5 years now. This is bad. Okay, crane, fine. Sparrow, fine.
A snake? Fine.
Yes, an elk
Snake
snake
bite?
eats rats.
Yeah, duck, not fine. All right. So what do you call this? A food
Chain.
web.
Web.
Food chain just literally has organism, or just in a chain. One link connected to another. This is all of them interconnected together. Now, does an organism simply focus? Why don't you put the phone down? Does an organism simply focus at one level?
No.
No.
No. For instance, what levels can we eat on?
Anything.
All. Are we ever producers?
No. Anything but producers.
So primary consumers are.
Anything but for the
I don't know. I photosynthesized last week.
fish.
Salad.
Wait, we fertilizer for the plants.
We do. Okay. What are we eating here?
Fish.
Fish, rats, and frogs.
Frog leg. Secondary.
If we were eating a cow, what level are we focusing on? What level are we focusing on?
Primary.
Secondary consumer, right? Because a cow eats the grass, we eat the cow, boom. Okay, very good. I'm supposed to be done. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
So pyramids. So when you look at a pyramid right here?
It's a good pyramid. It's a Coase pyramid.
I did like the activity was done when I was in class.
When you have a pyramid, okay, the producers are at the bottom.
Yes.
Now, there's a rule here. It's a rule of
Thumb.
that not all of the energy from one level can go to the next. Now, the reason why that is something you learned most likely. Okay, right here. It has to do with the second frickin' law of thermodynamics. Okay, that when energy is changed from one form to another, energy is lost. In fact, 90% of the energy available at one level, or I'll say at one level, is not available to the next. Only 10% is. Which is why you can only go so far. So if you have producers, you have all the possible energy available. For the primary consumers, only 10% of that energy is there for them, which is why there are fewer of them. Okay, which is what you found, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Only 10% of that is available for the next level. So what percent, if you're looking at secondary consumers, what percent of total energy is available to them?
10.
20.
I heard it from somewhere.
5.
1.
1.
10% rule. You have 100% here. There's the base, producers. Primary consumers, 10% is available.
Oh, yes.
The next level is 10% of that. 10% of 10%, which is 1% of the original. If you go to the next level, it would be
A 10.
0.1%. By the time you get to quaternary, the fourth level, it would be
0.001.
0.01. There is nothing in nature that ever goes to a fifth level. Very rarely do you even have fourth level. Because with only 0.1% of the energy available, you really can't support many organisms that way. So here, oh, you have very different, this is different than me. Here you have an energy pyramid. So,
The
the
Arctic
primary
one.
producers are down here, and I need to go, so you can finish right here. Okay. Different in the ocean. We're just going to walk up, we're going to smooth transfer. Very different. Here you see all the organisms, but in the ocean you have phytoplankton, which are microscopic. Very.
That's where you continue.
You're doing such a nice job.
I know. I have to teach you this.
What?
How many more slides do you have? Oh, that was the last.
You can continue. Hey,
Tag team, Mr. Marks.
we're right here.
How many environmental science teachers do you guys need?
Mr. Marks, we're right here. I was just talking about phytoplankton. We're talking about pyramids. Energy pyramids.
You want me to pick it right up?
Continue.
You know, I'd love to, but I do have to be somewhere. Plus, I'm a little rusty.
Oh, not at all. It's like riding a bike. Hey, guys, before you wrap up, I do have a minute and a half. Listen, I want eyes here. I will collect the one sheet per group. There's one thing I want you to get out of that. And the reason I love sitting back is because he lives and breathes this stuff, and you got a very good description of this concept. You have to know this 10% rule. You will get a multiple choice question on the AP exam that you will calculate the 10% rule. I can guarantee that. The problem is when you mention you get to that third level and you've only got 1%. If you're only getting 1% of the energy, are you going to have to eat a lot or a little?
A lot.
You have to eat a ton because you're only getting 1% of that original energy. So let's get something across real quick. What's the most, what is the most efficient way to get energy? What should we be eating?
Plants.
There is a whole school of thought of people out there that think we are missing the mark by eating. It is not me, and I'm not promoting veganism for any aspect other than the fact of efficiency of energy. there's a school of thought that we should be eating plants.